When did you trust the absolute wrong person? I was 19 when Matthew attacked me at a college party. 3 hours of hell that left me with internal injuries, broken ribs, and trauma that made me afraid of my own shadow. The hospital assigned Dr. Roseway to my case. He was everything you'd want in a trauma doctor. Gentle hands, patient voice, never made me feel dirty or broken. He documented everything meticulously, photographed my injuries, and promised me justice would be served. For months, he was my lifeline. When nightmares kept me awake, he prescribed sleeping pills. When panic attacks hit, he started seeing me 3 times a week instead of 2. Healing takes time, he'd say, holding my hand while I cried, but you're stronger than you know. But Matthew came from money, so I knew my legal case would be an uphill battle. In fact, his family owned half the real estate in town, including the medical plaza where Dr. Roseway had his practice. I didn't connect those dots until much later. The first red flag came during an appointment. Dr. Roseway mentioned that some injuries could be misinterpreted, and that trauma sometimes makes people remember things differently. When I asked him what he meant, he backtracked. I'm just saying the defense will try to confuse you. We need to be precise about what actually happened. Then the prosecution called with bad news. My medical records were inconsistent. Some of my injuries could be explained by rough consensual activity. Dr. Roseway had apparently told them my anatomy showed signs of previous sexual activity that predated the assault. None of this was in his original report, so I demanded to see my files. Dr. Roseway hesitated, then showed me doctored records. Where his notes once said, severe internal tearing consistent with violent assault, they now read, minor abrasions, possibly self-inflicted during consensual encounter. My photographs had been edited to make bruises look lighter, wounds less severe. What the hell is this? I screamed. I had to be more medically accurate, he said calmly. Initial assessments can be emotional. Upon reflection, your injuries weren't as severe as I first documented. That night, I broke into his office. What I found on his computer destroyed me. Matthew's family had been paying Dr. Roseway $50,000 to discredit my case. Emails showed their strategy: make her look unstable and minimize physical evidence, create reasonable doubt. But worse than that was a folder of recordings I found. Dr. Roseway had been secretly taping our sessions and editing them to make me sound inconsistent. In one, he spliced together audio to make it sound like I was admitting to lying about being a virgin before the assault. I knew that I wasn't going to let him get away with this. I was not about to be the victim of another man who thought he could overpower me. I knew that in a couple weeks, Dr. Roseway was keynoting a medical ethics conference, speaking about objective assessment in sexual assault cases to hundreds of doctors, nurses, and hospital administrators. The irony was nauseating, but this was my chance. I volunteered to handle the tech setup. You're such a sweetheart, he told me, the same voice that used to comfort me. The night of the conference, the hotel ballroom was packed. Dr. Roseway stood at the podium talking about the importance of unbiased medical testimony and not letting emotion cloud professional judgment. Hospital CEOs and medical board members hung on every word. When he clicked for his first slide, the screen showed his payment records from Matthew's family. Then came the original versus altered medical reports, side by side. Finally, the audio recordings played. She's more traumatized by the trial than the alleged assault. With proper guidance, her testimony will fall apart. The room erupted. Dr. Roseway lunged for the laptop, but security was already moving toward him. This is fabricated, he shouted. She's mentally unstable. Is that your professional opinion? I asked, standing up in the back. Because according to your original notes, I was remarkably coherent and credible for a trauma victim. That was before Matthew's family started paying you. The medical board president was already on his phone. Police arrived within minutes. 3 days later, Dr. Roseway's license was suspended. My case went forward with the original evidence, and Matthew was convicted and sentenced to 15 years. When Dr. Roseway was led away in handcuffs, he sneered at me. You could have let it go, he said. You could have moved on. I just smiled. No, I whispered. You could have done your job.